In October of 2021, my husband died unexpectedly, without warning. In October, in October of 2021, my husband died unexpectedly. In October of 2021, in October of 2021, my husband died unexpectedly and without warning. And I have just tried, I think, 15 times to get sentence that sentence out of my mouth. Here I am trying to create a video to show people how to move through things, yet for me to be able to express that, I am trying to compose myself in a way that honestly isn't real, because I'll be dead set honest. We think that we need to act in certain ways, and it's not just within grief. It's when we are in a place that we want to share information or show people how you did things. Before we go out and present that, we want to be in the space where it's, look at me, I've done this thing, I'm coming from this powerful place. Yet what people are actually feeling are the bits that we are holding back, are the bits that we are cutting out. It's the bits that we think we need to hide in order to show people that this is the way that you do the thing. Look at me, I'm so happy and I'm so successful because I've moved through all these amazing things. But honestly, we're still allowed to show how we're feeling, and to show that talking about things like that is still painful. And even though there are no rules saying that, oh, it's been this amount of time or that amount of time that you need to be feeling a different way, there are no rules to that. But there are ways in which we can allow the things that we experience in order to help us expand and grow into the things that we may want to experience in the future. It can be very difficult, and this for me, it's like I live in all these different worlds at the same time. It's having this understanding and this understanding and this knowing and this idea and this thought, and thinking, well, which one do I align with? When you look at something like grief, it's okay, let's look at it from the physical perspective. Someone you loved is no longer here, and you grieve that person because they're not here. So we get that. This is how most people grieve. You mourn the loss of someone. But then, for me, because the loss was during this whole spiritual journey, there was also this whole new idea of understanding the energetics of who we are, understanding that we're these energetic vibrational frequencies, and we're connected to this oneness, or this whatever you believe in. So once I started hearing all these new things, it's so I need to still be a human and understand that, well, I'm clearly still feeling things, so I'm still a human, but also I'm this energetic vibrational frequency that doesn't really exist. I'm just made up of things that are moving of a vibration based on the construct of the illusionary things that I think I see and that I'm bringing into my reality, because I believe that I am seeing based on my senses. So then technically a loss is something that I brought on, or it's something that has led me to something else, or they're not even gone, they're just in a different frequency, maybe in a different form, maybe on a different planet, a different dimension, a different space. So then it's, well, how the hell am I supposed to feel? Because both of those ideas and things feel real to me. Both of those things are a truth. And one of the things that was very much sort of taught and drilled into me was really finding and owning your own truth and seeing what resonates the most with you. The problem that I have, though, is it all resonates. I see truth and feeling in most things that people talk about. So it's, well, how am I supposed to feel when I'm so conflicted with what I'm supposed to be feeling? So there's a level of confusion when you open yourself up to so much information. You would think that having all this information gives you this amazing, great tool where I know everything and I can decipher what is real and what's not, and I can choose what to believe in, and I can tell my body how to feel. And while, yes, we can probably do that, I can tell you it's fine. It's a difficult place to be in. And I know, depending on what you're looking at, whether you're buying into the collective energies or the experience that you have around you, or the way that people are changing, or the way that your external life is now different to how it was before you had your mind open to all these things, it's a lot more acceptable to have these open ideas and new thoughts of the things that are happening around us, and being open to something different instead of the original thoughts that we were locked into of just being this human and just being this person that was this physical being experiencing something. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. That's another whole topic. So my journey through spirituality and then through the grief is like a 3-year sort of time period where everything I talk about is based in this little 3-year bracket. And for me, I feel like it's been a huge growth, a huge blow up of every single thought, idea, and piece of reality that you could ever bring into your existence. And part of that journey of being open and listening and holding on to all those things led me to the idea that we're just creators. We are here to create things. We are here to experience and express the truest depths of who we are in the way that we create externally. So whether that's a job that we do, the way we act with people, the things that we physically create, the things we offer to others, all of that is part of our creation process. And that was something that I really started getting into. It's, oh my goodness, I'm really getting to know who I am. I'm understanding who I am. And this was a journey that started after my husband passed away, because part of having a partnership and losing one half of that, there's, whether you like it or not, there's a discovery piece of you trying to find out who you are on your own. So before, where you are one of a couple, even though you may still be yourself an individual, there's still part of you that is part of that bond together, and you are that one person. So when that one breaks and you're on your own, it's, okay, well, who am I on my own? So that discovery allows you to tune more into yourself, and you start creating things, and it can be anything. And for me, it was literally everything. I had this thirst for creating everything from crafts to paintings, drawings. Then, of course, because I'm in this online space learning all these new things, the environment around me was, well, now that you've achieved this stage of where you're at, you can now share that with other people. You can help other people. So then, of course, you go down this path of becoming this coach or this mentor or trainer, or someone who's wants to show people how to do things that you've learned. You've learned these things, you've moved through these steps, and now you want to show someone else how to do them. So all of these things together for me was just what I had thought, an expression of who I am. because part of the spiritual journey was then understanding about our vibrational frequency and our connection to other beings and other frequencies, and bringing it all through with light language, with our hands and drawings and different words, which was another stage that I went through. So being able to express so many things in so many ways, I had thought, well, whoa, look at me, I'm just a creator. And through all the labels and names and businesses I gave myself, I ended up at this place where just deciding, well, I'm just a creator. I don't have a particular, something that I want to call myself or something that I do. I just create. And it became so easy for me that I thought, well, I'm so good at this. It's so easy for me. And I hear people all the time talking about how they struggle with creating online, with expressing themselves through technology. And of course, my idea was, well, I can do it. It's so easy. Let me show other people how to do it. And part of that process of me deciding to do that, of course, led to new ideas, led to new offers, but then they would fizzle out. They would lose their momentum. They would lose the charge that they had of when I first had that idea. So every single thing, and this has happened not just recently with just the creating in a digital online space, but with everything that I've done, I really started to look at, well, they were all amazing ideas that felt like they were fully coming from me. They were fully something that wanted to be expressed. And I could find a way to bring them to life because I can do that. That is, to me, that's easy. That's just something I do. And I thought that this was my superpower. This is something that I am so amazing at. This is something I can share with so many people. But what I realized is it had become more of something that I turned to when I didn't want to do something else. It became like a distraction, like a place where I could just go if I didn't want to deal with shit. So if I was feeling sad, okay, I'm just going to do artwork. If I was feeling low or lack of something, I'm just going to go and create this. If I was feeling like something wasn't working out the way that I wanted, I'm going to create this new program. I'm going to create this new brand because guess what? Because I'm so good at it, you can create it, you can do it, and you go, look, I'm so good. And it's like that dopamine hit of having that, oh, good job, Anna, good job, look what you just did, because I was lacking somewhere else or not completing something else, or feeling in a way where I was deflated or hadn't achieved the results that I wanted to achieve, because I knew I could get that with creating. I knew that when I create a piece of artwork and I'm finished, I'm like, yeah, great job. That's awesome. Even though someone else may look at it and go, no. But for me, creating something is a way for me to give myself the pat on the back when I didn't want to move through something or complete something or work through the part that I didn't like. I wanted it all to be good and fun and exciting and fully on this hypo attitude and just this big goddamn high. But what I've also realized is all that creating was covering up the grief. So even though, of course, there's still those, and I'm leaving all these bits in so you can see this is real. Even in those moments of grief, it's, I'll create something because that's going to make me feel better. It's no different than having an addiction to something else, being an alcoholic, being a drug addict, looking for something else to give you that hit. That's what creating has become. And yes, whilst I am still good at it, I can still help people with it. It's doing it from a place of power instead of from a place of lack. And that is such a big realization for me. It's because it is literally like popping the bubble. Hang on, I'm an amazing creator. You just said I'm not a creator. You just said I'm covering up my emotions with creating. And whilst we can still use these creative tools to help us move through moments in our life, to move through pain. And I can tell you, like, even a painting that I've just been working on has helped me move through something that mentally and with my thoughts, I couldn't express through it or get past it without putting it onto paint, putting it into a place. And it's not finished yet because there's still a piece I still need to work through. So you can still use the things that you create as a tool to help you move through things. But when it becomes something that you just do just for the hit, because now if I was feeling low and feeling deflated, fuck you all, I'm just going to go create something. Oh, look at me, I just created this thing and it only took me this long. Because that would be me trying to tell myself, oh, good job, when there was something else that I just didn't like that was happening in my external world. So right now, what I've done over the last few weeks is, yes, I created a whole new thing, but this is a thing that we are doing till the end, because anything that comes through us is coming from somewhere within us. It's those codes within us. And this is how I talk about it. This is how it has come to me. This is the way I see it. It's our luminescence. And there's a whole story with that, the way that came about. And I'm sure there's a video about it somewhere. But I see it as these luminescent codes of who we are. So if you can grasp the fact that we are these energetic vibrational frequencies and we are existing as this human form right now in this 3D realm, if you can grasp onto that, if you can understand that the code of frequencies of who you are were made up from, depending on what you believe in, you can believe in a God, source, universe, higher self, whatever it is. The way I see it is, if we look at it from a universal perspective, we think of the Big Bang, we think of how space exists and how things are created from momentum and velocity and the way that they build up and then they create something. And that's how humans have been created. If you believe in religion, that's going to be a whole different story. But if you understand where, if we're these coded frequencies based on this existence of this expansive universe, which is beyond our literal understanding, when you start looking at the science of it, you can see how we could be formed and created over and over and over again, which has already existed in the past and the future. But we're not going to talk about timing because that's going to be too confusing. But if you can see where those pieces of you as literal stardust, picking up different pieces within time, within different versions of the cosmos, within different experiences, different people, different beings, different parts, linked with the way that you were created from your parents and the ancestry beyond that, you can see how unique the essence of who you are is. So the luminescence is like, think of it like the best bits of what you're made up of. So it's like when you get that milk and it's got that cream on top. The luminescence are those color codes that float to the top, and they're I don't like normal milk, so we can't say that's the yummy bit, but say it's that cream on top is the yummy bit. And your codes coming up to the surface want to be experienced, just like that cream on top of the milk. The way that they reflect themselves through who you are is in those urges and those ideas of things that you want to create. So the essence of you will go, ooh, why don't you go learn this thing, share this thing, offer this new thing? That's just an essence of you wanting to come out. So when you step into that creativity, it's allowing you to become more of that luminescence of who you are. Because with the luminescence, I see it like colors, and the way that we connect to people, if we just imagine that all these pieces of stardust all have different colors, though, like color codes. And when we're at a certain level, we may think on this level and just say we're the color blue. So blue means that the grass is green. Someone else believes that. But just say we changed our mind and decided we wanted to add the science aspect to that. So that blue turns a slightly different shade because we're no longer just thinking grass is green. We're blue, I mean green. So when we're talking about things like, just say we are believing that the grass is green. The grass is green. Someone else believes the grass is green. That's it, full stop. But then someone else will understand why grass is green and how that color forms and how the grass operates. Someone else will think that as well. And we will connect to someone else on that same level. And that goes across with every single thing that we believe in our thoughts, in our reality, in the things that we experience. We match to different people based on those different colored coded frequencies. But when we allow that luminescent, those shiny good bits to come to the surface and express themselves in that process, we start to expand on those color codes we already have, because we are doing something new and we're expressing ourselves in a way that feels authentic to us. And along that journey, we may find some beliefs, some thoughts, some ideas that we go, that's interesting. I don't like that one anymore. Or we may have a full meltdown, or we may have a place where we go down this big, huge, steep, deep, dark hole into this place of sadness or whatever. But it's through that process that as we get to the other side of it, we've eliminated that layer and that color code becomes brighter. Because if you believe and understand that the whole essence of our being, and if you want to look at it as a journey or whatever it is, it's to become this pure essence of light. So we want to get to that purest coded frequency, which is pure light. So the way to do that is to use that luminescence to allow those colors to become brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter until we're pure light. And that's where you hear people talking about ascension and awakening, and everyone talks about in so many different ways now. You can literally make up your own as long as you're on your own journey towards whatever your greatness is going to be. So the way that we move through with these coded frequencies is through creating, is through those ideas that come to us and want to be seen and expressed. The problem is when we start stepping into those things, there's so many distractions and things that can happen along the way that they're the things that we need to look into in order to help us to facilitate and expand and grow even more. Like for me right now, with this whole new thing that I've created, it's called I Create Short Videos. Yes, it's another brand. And I can show you my board. I think we're up to like 83 now of things that I've created over the last 3 years. So this is just another one of those things, but this is the one that we're going to pull all the way through. And I'm going to share with you exactly all these things that I'm talking about that is leading me through completing this to its full potential, instead of stopping and breaking and trying something else and going over here and doing this and moving over there and doing that, because these things need to come to fruition. The codes come up because they want to be formed into matter, just like we were created in this universe, just like the planets were created. It's the momentum of doing that thing until it is fully realized. And that's what we're doing with our codes. That's what we're doing with our creation, is bringing it fully to life. If you've thought it, it has to be created. That's the step. Yes, you will find a better way or something else along the way. But part of this whole journey that I'm doing with this new program brand idea, there's many steps to it, and I'm going to share that with you. And we're starting with some free training next week, or actually the warm-ups this Friday. But it is going to show you exactly the process that I have used to create it, but to also move through it. I thought originally, and this is what we're going to talk about, is this is going to be a program that's going to show you 5 steps how to create short videos. And it was going to be like a doing thing, but it has become and evolved so much more than that. I started on a high. I had this great big plan of all these things we were going to do. And then over the last few days, it was, nope, not doing that. And I was off trying to create something else again. Because look at me, I'm such a great creator. I can create so many amazing things. But all it was a distraction from me completing this. So we're going to work through this in real time, and I'm going to share with you how we get through that, how we move through that, and also how it's actually still okay, even if you are someone who has been doing this for years and you are still finding yourself stopping and starting and diverting and doing something else instead of completing it, so we can really clean up that energy and really find ways that are going to work around some of those things that normally stop you from bringing that fully into matter. And I'm going to share with you everything I know about it, everything I moved through it, and it's going to be real. It's not going to be, this is a perfect training, perfect video, perfect life story. Like, I've literally just created this video. Like, I'm even looking at my hair and the lights in the background. I haven't even sorted that out because most people aren't sitting here with a faultless background, with perfect hair, with makeup, with the right filter, with perfect editing, without, you probably heard before, my coffee machine or the dog barking. You'll still hear things. This is who we are, and we have removed ourselves so much from the reality of who we are, that we think we need to have things in certain ways in order for people to like them, but it's not. More people are going to connect to you when you are being real. People are real. People have their hair in buns when they look terrible. People have gray hairs coming through. People have backgrounds that are distracting when I'm trying to share information. And this is just all part of us being real. And once we remove that whole big bubble around the way that we're meant to create, it's going to be so much more fun. We're going to connect with our colored codes to more people just like us, and we can share the things that we know in order to help others. Because, you know, as much as my ego likes to tell me, oh, I know everything, I don't. I can guarantee you I don't. And even when I think I have everything figured out, it can crash and burn in an instant, and that's okay, because we are learning, we are expanding, and we're growing, and we're just bringing more of those codes to the surface to truly bring our luminescence to the surface, to just be the most authentic and honestly funnest versions of who we are. So this video has really been something I just wanted to share, the essence of who I am, where I'm at, what I'm going through, so that you can, yes, come to my free training, because most people don't talk about things the way that I do. You will find many people who will just come in and say, oh, do this, and they'll recycle information that someone else has said. And that has been one of my biggest problems as well, is trying not to recycle information. But when you start to really just share who you are as you are, you can't recycle shit. You can only say the things that you are going through and you are experiencing and how you are moving through it. And that's what I want to share with you. That's why I want you in this training. I want everyone to start creating in a way that you want to create, not because this strategy or this content creator told you that you need to create 3 videos at Monday at 10 a.m. and 4 on Tuesday at 4 p.m. and make sure you interact with 7 people half an hour before you post. Like, fuck off, that's bullshit. You don't need to do that. And I think as we start to share this message, as more people start to understand this, we can really change that collective hold of those beliefs in the way that we create. Because once we start all creating from our own authenticity, this world is going to be so much better, instead of us trying to live up to these ideas or these expectations that everyone has for us. So please, if you want to learn how to create authentically from who you are, not like everyone else, not because you just want 1 million followers, not just because you want to go viral, because you want to be the truest authentic version of you, please join us. I would love to have you in here. All the details will be below. And if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about in the meantime, please let me know. I also have a free Facebook group. It's brand new, so it's tiny, so you will get a lot more attention if you have actual questions to the way that you are feeling, or if you're feeling stuck, or even practical ones for the things when you are actually creating. We can I can help you with that as well. So join us. I'd love to see you in there. It's time to get real about the way we're creating and just create from the space of who we are, not where we think people want to see us. Thanks for joining. No, I'm not saying that. That sounds stupid. I've really been looking for an end catchphrase and I don't know what I want to use. Any suggestions? Let me know, because I changed my mind too much. It's really hard. But I will tell you what my catchphrase is on my main brand, which is in the disruption of the luminescence, matter is created. And that's how I guide myself. I'll see you in the training.